Okay. Hello, everyone on the internet. We're going to get started. Just checking my clicker. That works. Okay, can everybody hear me all right? Okay, good. I'm very loud, and my mom always tells me to be quiet, so it worked out in my favor in the long run. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Today's workshop is titled AI Tools and Tips for Academic Research Papers. This is maybe my second public seminar here with the library, so thank you for inviting me back. I appreciate it. We are live streaming this right now, and there is a chance that there's a technical issue that we might need to fix. I apologize in advance. We should be great. I got a team in the back as well. Can you hear me okay? Yeah. Great, great, awesome. I'll give a short introduction on myself, and then we'll jump into the content. So I've been working here at NTNU in a couple different capacities. I work a lot with the Center for Academic Literacy, CAL, as an academic and public speaking tutor. This is our beautiful tutor center, free for faculty, staff, and students. Please come. We have a lot of beautiful tutors. I've also made a video presentation for CAL. I work as a kind of a producer and editor over there. A lot of great online content. Good fun. I also have done semesterly career development workshops with the College of Liberal Arts. I see a couple of you in here that have attended, so welcome back. And my full-time work here in Taiwan is with Uni-edit, English Editing and Translation. I work as a research paper editor, not a translator. That is hard. I cannot speak Chinese that well. I get to travel around Taiwan and give presentations like these to academics and researchers. It's good fun. About me personally, I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio in the USA. It's the Midwest, very normal, average city. I currently live in Wenshan in Taipei. I kind of live right in there, actually. Beautiful place if you're from the south of Taipei. Thank you for making your home wonderful for me to live there as well. I did start teaching many years ago in Japan. I taught little children and grandparents and business English and high school test preparation. I taught all of it, and I kind of learned that I like working with adults the most. So that's why I've transitioned into professional English. In Taiwan, I'm into hiking and sports. This is actually my fitness group. I'm one of the co-leaders. It's a community workout group. Da'an Park 3 days a week if you're interested. It's called FitFam. It's a good group, great people. And in Taiwan, I take a lot of photos of the wildlife and insects. So Taiwan has a lot for me. I love it here. Thank you for coming. Your participation helps me stay here longer. So thank you so much. I'm joined by Angela over here. If you have any questions, and Luis as well. Questions in Chinese are okay. They will help translate for me, and perhaps we can help translate the answer as well. That goes for everybody online. Asking questions in Chinese is okay. There we go. See? Again, thank you for inviting us. Happy to be here. Restating the title, AI Tools and Tips for Publishing in Academic Papers. Anytime you have a question, please raise your hand. You can interrupt me. I'm American. We get interrupted all the time. It's normal for us. Okay, lesson plan about 50 minutes. I'm going to talk about your role as a writer. We're going to talk about brainstorming, prompt engineering. We're going to talk about specific tools and their strengths, some talk about AI limitations, and go from there. Just some key terms. These are pretty basic. Just input and prompt is the text you give AI, right? The input. The output is the text AI gives you. So I kind of jump around these terms a lot. Cool. Let's start section 1, the benefits of learning academic English. AI helps us learn it better, and we should take it seriously. So critical thinking. How can you tell fake news from real news? You need to be able to analyze and make thoughtful inferences. Critical thinking in academic writing is very similar. Academic English is analytical and methodical. If you're a good academic writer, you are very analytical and methodical. International communication. Right now, the global language for science is English. Therefore, if you have strong academic English skills, then you will make international connections more easily. You can work with people in Japan or people in anywhere. I don't need to list countries. Similarly, business English, business communication, often uses the same logic and formalities that academic writing uses. If you're a strong academic writing and academic English communicator, that translates really, really well to business English, that direct critical thinking communication. So when we teach students academic English, we're also teaching them business skills. Your role as a writer using AI. Here we have a beautiful calculator. I have a scenario for you. You want to buy some candy bars. We all like candy bars. You have 100 NTD. Each candy bar costs 20 NTD. You use your calculator to learn how many candy bars you can buy. What's the number? How many candy bars can I buy? 5. Okay, so I type in 100 divided by 20, and the calculator says 2,000. You guys were all wrong. It's 2,000. Wow, that's amazing. So you're all shaking your head. No. What went wrong? I typed in 100 times 20, not 100 divided by 20, right? A common mistake, and you all recognize it. Oh, that must be wrong. Of course I can't buy 1,000. What's my point? You need to understand math to use a calculator and to understand its output. Yeah? You need to do it to input and to understand the output. Wow, AI is so similar. Using AI can help you with your academic writing. If you don't know how to input correctly and you don't know how to interpret the answer, you can't use the tool. You're going to think that you can buy 2,000 candy bars. Yeah, and we don't want that. As a calculator helps you do math, AI can help you to write, but it can't write for you. Very different. So what's the difference? Sentence 1, our findings are significant because they will influence corporate marketing strategies in Southeast Asia. And sentence 2, our findings are important. Does anybody know the difference between significant and important in academic writing? Feel free to type online. I won't be able to read your answer very quickly, but they are synonyms in everyday English, but they do have a different meaning. I'm going to grab my water really quick. Anybody? Okay. In academic writing, significant indicates statistical significance. That's when your p-value is plus or is less than 0.05. So I always say important means important. Significant means a lot of other things in academic writing. Yeah? And this is one of those small nuances. This is like 2,000 on your calculator. Wow, yay, 2,000. But really, you wanted to write something different. So there we go. It's I'm further making my point here. Understanding nuance is your ability to correctly interpret AI's output. Being able to read and write academic text is a skill you can develop. Overutilizing AI inhibits your academic English ability. Now, let's talk about all the great things AI can do for us. Can I just put this over here? Thank you so much. I love this chart. My boss sent this to me, and I felt it. I felt it really deep down. On the top, we have task progress from 0% to 100%. On the x-axis, we have time, and this is the illusion of AI productivity. When you first start a project with AI, you're like, yeah, this is so fast. I'm doing so good. Yeah? Really quickly, you find that all of your work is being done for you. And then you kind of maybe reset, and you kind of say, throw it all out and start over. Okay, throw it all out and start over. It's okay, AI's fast. And we go up, wow, I'm so productive. But then you might have some more problems. And eventually, we get to about 85 to 95% when you're thinking, it's good enough. Let's deliver the product. Traditional work before AI was a long, slow, steady slog. S-L-O-G, slog. It was hard work for a long period of time. I like to find a happy medium between this. I like to go here, work a little bit, bump with AI. Work a little bit, bump with AI. Work a little bit, bump with AI. I think you need to find a happy medium in your work. Probably no questions, but friendly reminder, any questions are okay. Okay? So brainstorming strategies. Before I start, this is how I use AI 80% of the time, is to help me brainstorm and to help me think about my own thoughts. With ChatGPT, actually most of them can do this. Brainstorm to produce fresh ideas. Are you stuck on a problem? Do you need help figuring out what to write next? Or are you having trouble expressing a specific thought? For me, it's all of these all of the time. Yes, constantly. So example prompt 1, hi ChatGPT. I don't know how to conclude this paragraph. Can you give me 3 different suggestions? 3. Here's my tip. Do use AI to help you with many items, give you many different ideas. Do not use AI to search for one solution. Yeah? You can use your critical thinking and evaluate the 3 ideas. One answer is not going to be good enough. Here's a bigger example. So before we said, I'm just going to back up. I don't know how to conclude this paragraph. 3 examples, right? So here's a bigger thing. So I don't know how to conclude this paragraph. Can you please give me 3 different suggestions? The results showed a lack of good environmental microbes. These are the kind that typically found in soil, water, and plants on Earth. The only microbes present were human-related. They included bacteria from the astronaut's skin and food they ate. So it's a space, microbiology text, right? We want 3 different suggestions. AI can give you 3 very different suggestions. So we have an analytical and scientific implication, we have a practical concern, and we have a forward-looking, research-oriented sentence. Now we can kind of decide, where do you want this paragraph to go? What's your next paragraph going to be about? Is it going to be about future research, or is it going to be about your research problem? Yeah, that's where we find different sentences. They all sound great, but 2 of them do not make sense for your paper. That's why we say 3, 4, 5 different options. Example brainstorming prompt number 2. Based on this study's discussion, what follow-up research can I do? So here we have the title of the research. Okay, based on this study's discussion, what follow-up research can I do? Well, this will give us a couple things. Policy impact analysis, socioeconomic and cultural factors, health outcomes, vulnerable populations, and predictive modeling. You don't need to read about the details. I will tell you that these are actually kind of obvious. They're really obvious answers. Why? Because in my prompt, what did I say? So these suggestions are just okay, and they lack specificity. It seems ChatGPT is giving us suggestions based on the title of the paper. I don't think ChatGPT read the paper to give me these suggestions. Yeah? How do we fix that? Let's look directly at the study's discussion and see what the authors write about their study's limitations and determine what follow-up research can be done. I just copy-paste, so you don't have to read it. This is 1 or 2 paragraphs from the study talking about the limitations. As with all global analyses, our study has limitations. So I read through this and I found everything underlined could be a future study. Every single thing. BMI is an imperfect measurement to the extent of distribution of body fat. There are even fewer data on the impact of being underweight, but did not measure underweight prevalence. All of these are problems with the research, which means something you can do in your research. If we give ChatGPT this, we get more relevant and impactful outputs. Be specific with your prompt. Put the whole discussion section into ChatGPT. Here's what ChatGPT does. This was the first one. Here we go. Okay. Long-term tracking studies. So we get a specific study and then an example research question, specific problem, research question. We get problem, research question, and it goes on. 5, 6, 7, 8 really good test programs designed to reverse pandemic weight gains, especially in schools or workplaces. Really specific information because we gave ChatGPT something specific to work with. It even gave us a really nice quick tip at the end. Since the original metadata analysis, mostly high-income countries, and large heterogeneity I've heard some people pronounce that differently. You could especially stand out by focusing on low and middle income countries, studying specific behaviors, or following long time periods. So it gave us specific things we could do, and then it said, well, if you want to think more generally, here's what you can do as well. So we instantly improve our productivity with prompt. This is the repeat slide. This is what they gave originally. This is what ChatGPT outputted originally. Massive difference. Massive difference. Good prompt engineering equals high quality output. You probably all have done a lot of this before. Any questions on that? Okay. Am I speaking too quickly? Okay. Strategy 2, explaining errors or improvements. AI can give you detailed personalized feedback on your writing, like a 24-hour one-on-one tutor. We know this. I'll be a little fast. AI is a great learning partner. Which one's AI, which one's you? You can decide. Please explain my errors. The results showed a lack of good environments microbes. Please explain my errors. Example output, environments is incorrect. It should be environmental to describe the kind of microbes. When you want to describe the type of microbes, you need an adjective and not a plural noun. The corrected noun phrase should be environmental microbes. Great. Lots of detail in my mistake. I can learn my mistake 3 different ways. Yeah? I don't understand. I don't understand. Oh, okay, sure. Yeah? Let's continue. Example input. Please check this sentence for errors and explain all errors. South Korea and China had the lowest combination of prevalence for women in Sierra Leone. South Korea and China had the lowest combined prevalence for men. So I know we have combination of prevalence and combined prevalence. Wordiness and awkward phrasing. This is a native speaker's way to say, well, it doesn't really sound good. It's grammatically okay, but it doesn't feel right. The phrase lowest combination of prevalence sounds unnatural. ChatGPT knows. In academic English, we usually say lowest combined prevalence or lowest prevalence. So now we get most common wordings. Lastly, combination of prevalence is strange because prevalence is already a combined measure. So it's saying redundant. It's saying that it is redundant. You don't usually need a combination. If you're learning English, what a powerful tool. You can even say, can you explain it to me in a 5th grade reading level? And it makes it much more simple. Incredible, right? As a tutor who's been teaching for 10 years, very challenging to do on the spot. So great, love it, use it often. Example input 2, example output 2. This should be the same. Yep. For women, you say combination of prevalence, but for men, you say combined prevalence. It's better to keep phrasing consistent for clarity and smoothness. I would improve this a little bit by saying, in academic English, we repeat phrases. You repeat phrases all the time. You do not want 5 ways to say the same thing. You want the same, it's repetitive and it's boring sometimes. So this is actually a very good academic English tip. Use AI to enhance your English ability. Great. Now the time that you all have been waiting for. AI tools for academic research. In doing research for this, I actually learned a lot too. Every month there's something new, right? So keep your Google browser busy and find what's new. So Elicit, very cool AI, delivers information from research-backed sources, which means there's less hallucinations. Sometimes ChatGPT or other AI will create information that sounds real, but it's not real. So Elicit can compile highlights and findings from dozens of studies with one prompt. Will always let you check with the source research paper to confirm. So it always gives you the citation, which is great. Here is an example. So we have an input study, and then on the left we have Elicit's output synthesis. If you've ever done by hand a annotated bibliography where you find 100 studies and you have your own report on all the studies, this is giving you an annotated bibliography. So study population, intervention type, study design, outcome measures, intervention duration, population health status, lots of important information for this one study. You don't have to search for it. Now, if this seems really interesting, that's when you open the paper and you read the paper. Yeah? This is why we don't let AI do everything for us. We find what we need, and then we continue on our own until we need some help later on. This greatly accelerates your literature review research. For the people that maybe have written papers 5 years ago in this audience, me included, I would have I would have been glued to this website. I desperately needed it. Similarly, you can ask questions to papers. We'll talk about this a little later. So you have a PDF of one paper. What was the question? What was the effect size in the first trial arm? And it will extract that information from the paper, which means it's not creating it, it's extracting it from the paper. I have more information on this specific thing later. I've got the plan, if you're interested. Free, they have a free plan, $10.42. This is US dollars, I believe. So since they have a free plan, maybe you're writing a paper for 3 months and you know, want to spend $30. Cite AI, number 2, critical evaluation of citations. Academic English is challenging because who's publishing it? Where are they publishing it? Are their methods solid, right? We have to evaluate those things before we use that citation in our writing. So key features, it gives you easy access to sources, can tell you how a cited article is used in the research paper. I love this one. So if you go to the citations section at the end of a research paper, you don't know how they've used that research paper. You just know that they've talked about it. Is it a counter-argument? Is it a good argument? Is it a methodology that they're copying? Why? Why did they cite it? We don't know, so you have to go and find it. It finds it for you. Can extract exactly how an article is being used, cited in the research. And lastly, develop before ChatGPT. So I think they now have a little bit of ChatGPT tools, but the majority of their entire program was manually inputted into their system. Here's an example. So basically you would ask, hey, this citation, melanoma treatments, advances in mechanisms, how was that used? And it tells you, so the section, it's in the targeted therapy section, and then it tells you, oh, it's just mentioning it. It's a part of the process. It's not a good argument, it's not a bad argument, a counter argument, it's not the methodology. They're just mentioning past research. That's how it's used. I like that a lot. I think that's really clear, really clean. Additionally, you can type in a search keyword. So this is B1, medical stuff, vaccine efficacy. So you type in what you want, and then it can find sources for you. So here you can see supporting. So this vaccine efficacy, this paper supports that argument. This paper supports that argument. So if you want to find supporting arguments, this is a great tool. Lastly, so they have a personal plan. I don't think they have a free version. I clicked around. But unlimited search usage, that's really where, it's really kind of what we need, right? Pay a little bit of money and search all you want. Okay, consensus AI, synthesis of research. Key features, gives you an idea of how other research articles fall on a topic. I love this one. This is my particular favorite. And I'm gonna hype this one up a lot for you. Great tool for helping you determine what problem your research could attempt to solve. A problem statement might sound easy, but when I did my research, it changed, I'm not joking, about 10 times. I had like a no, change. Started doing my research and I had to change it again and again and again. So this is a really good tool. It's a very interesting tool for casual use. This is the only time I think that you might want to use this tool for fun. I'll show you why. You can see how often published research disagrees or agrees with your opinion. I love it. Let's look at it. So if you type in something, does eating red meat increase your risk of heart disease? 44% of studies say yes. Mixed, possibly 6%. So possibly 6%, mixed 28%, no 22%. So just based on this spread, we can assume that there's probably some red meat that in some red meat diets that will increase my risk of heart disease. Yeah? We see there's tons of studies that are pushing the green. Now there's some interesting stuff here. So you can look in, they give you a description. Eating red and especially processed red meat is linked to higher risk of heart disease. But strength in this association varies and is generally modest. So they're specific here, processed red meat, right, which would mean like sausage and pepperoni. They give you more information about processed red meat, unprocessed red meat, impact of substituting other foods. So they're expanding on all of the studies for you. This would be like somebody giving you a nice detailed lecture, but in about 5 seconds. Even more evidence from randomized trials. We know randomized trials are very high in their trustworthiness. Yeah? The data that randomized trials give is pretty high in the trusting column. That's grammatically weird, but okay. And then a conclusion as well. You can do this with anything. You can type in stuff. Should I bike to work? What does the research say? Should I bike to work? Yeah. Yeah, overwhelmingly, yeah. There's not one research paper published that says don't bike to work. Yeah? You can do this with anything. Should I have broccoli 5 times a week? And it'll pull up all the studies that have to do with broccoli intake. Yeah? If your sibling says something weird, like, oh, don't do that. You shouldn't do that. That's bad for your health. Let's find out. And let's find all of these studies that are related to it. This is why I say this one you can do for fun. Yeah? If anybody challenges you on a belief, I'm just going to type it in. I did try some weird ones, and they will tell you. This says six relevant papers. I did find one that said 0 relevant papers, but then they gave me some sources on some similar materials, which is good, but they'll tell you if they don't know. I say they. Consensus will tell you if consensus doesn't know. Not a person. AI is not real. Okay. Incredible. I think you can think of many things in your life right now that you want to type in. Am I doing this right? Let's find out. Let's find out. Here are the health benefits for biking. So mental and health and well-being. Yeah, lots of good stuff. Taiwan's a great place to bike too. Sometimes people say it's a little dangerous. No. You don't go to America and try to bike. Like the cars are much faster and they don't know how to give you space. So I'm enjoying it a lot. Perhaps the last one we're going to focus on, Research Rabbit. Great for visualizations. This tool, you can visually see connections between topics and authors. Here's an example. I won't get into much detail, but they have this kind of map. Maybe there's a researcher and other researchers, so you see webs, like all of these people are referencing each other, all of these people are referencing each other, and you can go into the details, find the author. You can look at authors, papers, share your collections. You can do a lot of cool things. We imagine these maps on our own when we think about connections to other people. We say, oh, I saw that paper over there, I saw that paper over there. This one shows you those connections, which I think is incredibly powerful. If, for example, let's say diabetes in children, let's say you see this cluster and a lot of it's like Europe, and you see the Asian cluster is much smaller. Now you know, hey, maybe diabetes in children in Asia is an understudied topic. Yeah, very cool. I think this takes maybe a little more time to get used to, but this automatically happens and you can move it and shift it and it kind of adapts to what you do. It's hard to explain. Have fun. Have fun with it. Chat with a PDF. I'm highlighting SciSpace. There are many. I'll show you some more. Many AI tools allow you to upload a PDF, then ask questions or have a discussion on the contents. All of these have been recommended. Again, SciSpace is the one I have up here. I know a lot of people use Claude in academic writing. I try to talk about some other tools, Notebook, KLM, and PDF AI. Having a conversation with AI is fantastic. Yeah? If it gives you an output, you say, that's not exactly what I'm looking for. Can you make it more relevant to 35 to 45-year-old adults? Yeah? And they said, oh yeah, sure, no problem. And then it, you know, so feel like you're talking to a colleague, especially when you're asking questions on a topic. Okay, making good time. AI tools for coding data. Does anybody have any coding experience? I'm not qualified to talk about this one, so I have no opinions. For those of you that work with very large data sets, a lot of engineering, or if you're doing metadata from science and stuff like that, or medical, you might need to. Yeah, so beginner tools for coding to organize data, create analysis pipelines, run descriptive statistics, and generate visualizations. All of these are usable. GitHub's Copilot, Amazon Q Developer, Anisphere's Cursor, and Claude as well. I do know that these are extremely powerful tools for a lot of people. So if you don't feel afraid to get into this system anymore, I think AI can help you learn a lot. Here's an example. I don't know what this is. So GitHub will show you, let's create a test file. Let's run the test file and validate everything works, and it can do it all. To me, this is a different language. So if you know, you know. If you want to learn, now's your chance. Cool. Any questions so far on all of those tools? Yeah, here? Yeah, no worries. Again, this list might get updated next month. You know what I mean? So stay busy. It's how we use these tools that I think is impactful, not which tool specifically you're using. I did early on find that Copilot was giving me really strange answers, and I went back to ChatGPT. But Copilot's been updated 2 or 3 times. You know, it's a completely different workhorse now. So, okay, any questions online? Okay. Yeah, we can give slides. So you're asking for the slides later? Absolutely, sure. By email is okay? Okay, email. Reading assisted academic papers. So as somebody who edits academic research papers, things have changed for our industry a lot. And I think it's important that you all understand how the industry is shifting and how it's being perceived in some different ways. So as an editor, I see the written grammar of non-native speakers is kind of now perfect. Yeah, it's actually, I spend less time considering the tenses used, for example. Before I have to set every single tense, present, 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 past. Why? Okay, fine. Present, present, yeah? But now it's probably okay. It's probably good. I can focus more on the storytelling and the overall impact of the research. So as an editor, right, when you're publishing, how's the storytelling? What's the impact? How's your design? Yeah, other things that are not strictly grammatical. So those are the good things. I've also seen recently, if I ask a student, can you tell me what your study is about? So they have a beautiful English paper. But hey, paper down, talk to me. What's your paper about? This is now a very difficult question. Yeah? Not just the verbal English. I speak with a lot of people that have, anywhere from B1 to C2 English level. This is now a harder question. Authors have a very hard time explaining their research in English, which is a problem if you're going to go present, if you're going to advocate for your paper, if you have to defend your thesis. How do you defend your thesis if you can't talk about it? So before AI, authors had to spend long hours, months, typing word, 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 carefully craft their sales pitch, and to comprehend what their study is about in English. Yeah? This was 6 months of time to figure out these details and to think, how do you feel about it? And what are we talking about? So sentence to sentence, different point. Sentence to sentence connections are sometimes unclear when AI isn't revising multiple paragraphs at one time. So if you say one sentence, ChatGPT, help. Okay. You type the next sentence, ChatGPT, help. Okay. ChatGPT, help. ChatGPT doesn't necessarily think you're connecting all of these ideas, so it won't connect these ideas. You'll have 3 beautiful sentences that don't feel good together. So I will ask, I'll be like, wait, why are we talking about this person now? And maybe they mentioned a person and I don't know where that person comes from. Yeah? Or how is this idea related to this paragraph? Or maybe how is this paragraph related to the next paragraph? Yeah? Ideas sometimes aren't flowing as well together because the storytelling isn't being told. The story isn't being told. If only one paragraph is revised by AI, the rest of the paper kind of also needs to be revised by AI. It's kind of strange. This ensures a consistent reading experience throughout the text. Imagine if you're reading Harry Potter and one chapter is written by somebody from the US. So we had British English the whole time. Harry Potter was written by a British person. And then an American author has their own style and their own flavor, and then it just goes back to British English. Right? That's an extreme example. ChatGPT won't switch between British English and American English. But if your style consistently changes, it's very hard to read, and it's very hard to understand. Some new authors have some excellently written sections and some sections with many mistakes. So the vibe kind of changes, which is quite strange. Yeah. These are easy. These AI limitations, I think you guys know these ones. Those ones from my perspective might have been new, but AI can't think critically and form original arguments, right? It's pulling information from other people, which means its uniqueness quality is low. So it doesn't read or reflect. It generates patterns based on existing data. If you ask it to form an argument, it will create something plausible, but not insightful or genuinely original. AI doesn't have the lived experiences that influence how each of us perceive and interact with our environments. You are all unique people. Yeah? ChatGPT is the average. No one in here is average. Together we are. And academic writing needs to be quite average. You can't have a creative, masterpiece. you can't have a poetic, research paper. I might eat my words later. Maybe you can, but quite different. AI sometimes hallucinates. We know this. AI sometimes creates information. AI has no real-world knowledge beyond its training data. So we know this. Make sure that when you're looking for sources, you maybe need to give your AI the most recently published material. I know during COVID, things were moving so fast. Yeah? If you were using, AI wasn't really out in 2020, but let's say it was, okay? So ChatGPT in 2020, since science was being published so fast about disease research and epidemiology, you would be needing to take that and putting it back into ChatGPT to give it more knowledge. So consider it manually adding information. Over-relying on AI takes away from your voice and writing style, and we've talked about this. You all have your own style. You all need your own style. Yeah? We're not robots. We're humans. Yep. AI is a great tool. Remember, you can create your style. You can, over time, come into your own style. If I write a paper right now, it's not going to look the same as when I was a master's student. Yeah? I've learned a lot. I'm a different person. I talk differently, even. So, imagine if there were no more creative artists experimenting with different materials. That's kind of where we're at. Yeah? There's no new input. Okay, perfect timing. Just a little bit about Uni-edit. Again, we edit and translate academic research papers. You do work with universities, research centers, governments, and many other organizations to help publish. Anything from research papers, theses, to websites, documentation, legal works as well. If you're interested, you can contact us via line in Chinese or in English. Similarly, here's my email, and then uniedit.taiwan for Chinese customer service, which is actually Louise. You can say hello to her in person if you want. She's lovely. Similarly, feel free to invite me to your campus or department. I'm in Taiwan to give presentations. This is pretty much what I do full-time, is talk to students and talk to researchers. And we can present on many different things. So if you're interested, please invite me. I'd love to work with you. Let's do some questions. Go ahead. Read the question, and then I'll restate the question so everybody knows.
So how can I determine whether I ask AI to help?
What? Can we do the first one first? Yeah. So how do we know? How do we test the validity of what the AI gives? There's kind of two parts to that. You kind of have to go to the source material, find the original article and confirm, especially if you want to publish in a very top-tier journal. You have to confirm all your sources by yourself. So you have to go and find that study. The second part of that question was, if it's revising my text and I don't know if it's revising it in my own voice, this is when I say, have AI give you 3, 4, 5 different ways to revise the text and pick which parts you like, which parts sound like you. Yeah? If it gives you 4 example sentences, maybe you take half of example sentence 1 and half of example sentence 4, right? Because those are actually what you want. What I found as a tutor is when I kind of restate something to the student, they say, kind of, and then we kind of go back and forth, right? They say this, I say this, they say this, I say this, and eventually we come to an understanding together. So it never happens in one prompt or in one conversation. So I hope that helps. Can I get question number 2?
From your experience, how far can we discuss with online? But some information eventually.
Oh, so like the security of your AI and what information you give it? That's a really good question. I like it. You would have to look up some AIs you can run locally on your own machine. And I know some universities and data centers are doing that. Like you'll see even new PCs are coming out and they're like, it's really good for running your own language model. I think like ASUS came out with one recently. So you can download your own model onto your PC if you're really, really concerned about data privacy. I would also check with your university because they might have their own server as well. So especially departments that are running through mountains of data, they're probably keeping that locally in their department. I know a lot of US schools at least are doing that. So you would have to check with your individual LLM, check if you can run the model locally. If you have to have a good computer to do it. If you don't mind waiting, you can use a bad one, but the newer computers that cost over $2,000 or $3,000 US are pretty fast. Good question. Anything else? Yes, ma'am. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I would say the same thing. So the question is, can you put a whole paper? Is it still safe, just like data? I would say you have to check with the specific LLM you're using and then try to run it locally if it's pretty confidential information. I don't think we've heard of one major data breach yet where an LLM has released information from an input from a user. I might be wrong, but you would see that on the news, like Columbia University's unpublished research was leaked. That hasn't happened yet to a big extent from what I understand, but we should still be careful because it's new. So, does anybody know? Does anybody know if one of the departments here is running a local LLM off of a server? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so uploading or downloading might impact ChatGPT won't, but perhaps in the pipeline of, okay. Interesting. So that's what ChatGPT tells us. Good. Good. Yeah. I do know they've done some experimenting with LLMs, and when they take off the guardrails, They will work to deceive you. And you can see it in the background code, like, I want to lead them this way, but I'm going to go this way. Yeah, so if you tell them to be deceptive, they can, but there are a lot of protections at the moment with the public releases. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so the question is about data mining large data sets, and a lot of them, I wonder why I didn't have a slide on it. That's a good point. Very common if you have a big data sheet. They are getting really good, and I would say Claude is known for it. I think so. Check the ones that I've put on screen. A lot of them have multiple functions, and specifically, I think the coding ones that I put all have the capacity to do data analysis. Again, that's one of the things that I'm not qualified because I'm not running large data sets. Yeah, sorry if I can't give you more specific information. Yeah. One more online, okay?
Journals current content is generated.
Yeah, so journals can tell just by these people have edited, they have reviewed thousands of journal articles. They know what sounds like a human, and they know what sounds too perfect or too AI written. So they will know pretty instantly. I will tell you, someone like Nature or Nat Geo or the top journals in your field, they're not publishing AI written text. There might be some parts of the text that have been edited or revised, yeah, but it does not sound that way. They really value the voice of the author, and they want those specific styles. They want those personalities in their paper. Even if it's a small personality, it's still good. For open access, they're much more liberal, so they will accept more papers. Yes, they will. So one of the things you have to consider is when you publish a paper, you're representing yourself, your department, your professor, and your university. So really, if it's a good representation, then great, go for it. If you think it's not representing who you are, then I would take a little extra time to make it sound like you. Any other questions? Okay, well, I'll stay here for the next 10 minutes. If you want to ask me a question privately, go ahead. I will send the slides to NTNU's library, and they will send them to you guys as well, just more contact information. Again, if you have questions, I'll be here. Thank you so much for coming, and a special thank you to the library for hosting all of these wonderful events for everybody for free. Thank you so much. Okay. Goodbye. If you have questions online, you can keep asking them. I'll keep the live stream going.
Using the AI to publish your paper, you have to remarkable you use the AI tools on your paper or not. If you got the idea from AI, you have to
disclose.
Disclose, yeah.
What's your question specifically? Do you have to disclose?
If I have to publish my paper on a journal, and I use the idea from AI, and it's AI helped me to confirm my own idea.
Sure.
Conclusion. Sorry. AI to conclude I using AI to conclude my whole idea. I have to remark it on the paper from the last test.
I think you can. I don't think you have to. Maybe in the acknowledgement section, you might say special thanks to, Cite AI for helping me craft my problem statement.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's mandatory. You can always look. So every journal will have an instructions for authors section, and you can go into the instructions for authors and see, do they talk about AI help or anything like that? Yeah, they might give you instructions there. If they say nothing, then you don't have to do anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So I have to depend on the general publisher.
definitely. I mean, journal publishers are so different, right? So some of them are much more strict, and then some of them are very open. They just want to publish something,
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Good luck.
thank you.
Good luck. Good luck.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you.
You know, there's actually someone asking, like, is there any, like, tools to check whether it is AI generated or not?
Yeah, is there any tools can help you
Okay.
the content is generated by AI?
Yeah,
Okay.
to figure out whether it's AI generated or not. Yeah.
So the question is, are there any tools that can check if something is AI generated? The last I heard was that it's not super accurate, so a lot of journals will actually try, but nothing has come out yet that it's like a probability. It's like 70% probability that it was used. I don't think there's no perfect tool yet. What I do know, again, is that like serious journal publishers, they know. They will read your paper and they will know. The language, the style, the flow, the conventions. ChatGPT often does one clause, comma, ing verb. And it's like boom, comma, ing, boom, comma, ing. And it's like I never write that way as a human. I never write that way, but some people did, and now ChatGPT does it all the time. So it will be obvious to those that care, and yeah.
Someone is just thanking you.
Oh, yeah, thanks everybody.
Honestly, like, one thing that I can think of, like, plagiarism, like, tool checker thing.
Yep, plagiarism, tool checkers might influence.
Correct. Like, it's not accurate as far as I'm aware, because, like, they will detect the smallest, like, word. For example, your usage of I, your usage of this word. and
Yep,
that word.
plagiarism tools are quite picky.
Yeah, they're very
Yeah.
picky. So they're always like, there was a time when I submitted my own, like, I didn't use AI at all for that, and I asked, like, whether this can be AI generated, and they said yes.
Okay,
And it's like,
interesting. So, any other questions?
the person who asked said thank you.
Yeah. Well, good luck writing, everybody. I'm going to turn the stream off in about a minute or so. So if you have any other questions, please ask them now. 63 people still there? Wake up. Wake up. It's time to wake up. 60 of you have fallen asleep. Come back.
Or maybe there's someone who has, like, multiple tabs and they're, like, open. 60 now? 60. Thank you so much for the nice talk.
Oh, thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Bye, everybody. Have a good